Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
Welcome back. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. Still in local news, the Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka, in a letter addressed to the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines, Ajit Dias, states that Sri Lankan Airlines must be restructured under a competent new management.
Chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines, Ajit Dias, had issued a letter to all staff on the 15th of this month stating that Sri Lankan Airlines was at a risk of being closed down. The letter mentions that the government was left with three alternatives for Sri Lankan Airlines. 1. Restructuring Sri Lankan Airlines in a bid to attract an equal shareholder. 2. In the absence of an equal shareholder, the company must be restructured in a manner where the company could be self-managed with state funds. If both these alternatives failed, the last resort would be the closure of the airline. The Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka, issuing a letter in response, expressed their discontent to the communique circulated by the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines. The Guild reiterates that the letter by the chairman indicating a closure of the airline causes significant defamation and commercial damages to Sri Lankan Airlines. The Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka notes further that the communique not only gives notice to the employees of a closure, but also notice to the passengers that Sri Lankan Airlines may no longer exist after March. Given the significant damage done by the errant statements of the chairman, passengers, service providers and employee confidence in the existence of the airline can only be rebuilt and fortified by a clear stance stated by a representative of the government, points out the Airline Pilots Guild.
The airline cannot be salvaged. We operated the airline at a cost of $200 million a month. We hope to restructure the company and take it forward as a private-public partnership. The cabinet will take a decision depending on the conditions of the joint venture. The closure of the airline will not happen. Our country requires a national carrier. It is the identity of our country.
A committee consisting of state officials has already been appointed for the restructuring of Sri Lankan Airlines. According to the annual financial reportings of Sri Lankan Airlines, the losses suffered by the company during the 2016-2017 financial year was over 28 billion rupees.